Legacy equipment like this gets a bad rap. But let's face it, half of Australia's critical infrastructure is running on devices older than most TikTok creators and still going strong. These little ports are running water treatment facilities, substations, conveyor belts, sensors, meters, everything, and they're doing it like a champ. The problem is, the rest of the world has moved on. Ethernet, cybersecurity, encrypted comms, remote diagnostics, big Gen Alpha energy. So who helps a PLC or sensor built in the 1980s talk to a network stack built last Tuesday? These guys, the Moxa NPort G2 range, Moxa's latest generation of secure serial device servers. Think of the NPort like the parent at the family barbecue who speaks both languages. Granddad Serial is telling stories about 1987. Meanwhile, Gen Alpha grandson looks like he's on his phone, but he's actually building a working calculator inside Minecraft. Two generations, both technically capable, zero overlap. The NPort keeps everyone talking without anyone storming off. So barbecue analogies aside, what does the NPort Gen 2 family actually do? Well, it takes serial device standards like RS-232, RS-422 and RS-485 and gets them talking on modern IP networks without having to replace anything. You keep your legacy equipment and you get your modern connectivity. You don't have to rip any of the hardware out that's been working perfectly since Bob Hawke was Prime Minister. So let's look at how these devices function. Whether you're looking at the NPort 6250 Gen 2 or its industrial counterpart, they both share the same core DNA. Let's start with security. Legacy serial devices weren't designed with cybersecurity in mind, but the NPort picks up the slack. The NPort Gen 2 range supports operating modes like Secure Real-Com, Secure TCP Server and Client, and Reverse SSH, meaning your serial devices from the 1980s can still talk over encrypted channels today. It's essentially the equivalent of putting a cybersecurity dinner jacket on hardware that predates the internet. I predate the internet. Troubleshooting is another win. When something goes wrong, and trust me, something always goes wrong, the NPort Gen 2 range will give you one-click diagnostics. It's like WebMD, but instead of telling you you're dying, it actually gives you useful information that you want to hear. Moxa built these things to last a lifetime. Well, probably 20 years in an industrial cabinet. We've got industrial quality, DIN mounting, 75 degrees upper temperature range, a variety of connections to suit your needs, and they look pretty good too. But if you want to go proper rugged, this is where the industrial version really steps up. First off, connectivity. 2-port Ethernet switch. We can have it configured for one IP address or 2 IP addresses on separate networks. We can even have it configured redundantly so that one connection's on and one connection's off. Second, we got distance. RJ45, 100 meters, or we could go fiber, up to 40 kilometers. That's longer than what your dad had to walk to school. And third, electrical protection. Industrial environments love throwing out voltage spikes. The serial port on this thing can handle up to a 2000 volt spike. I've blown up a lot of shit in my life, but I can't blow up this. And finally, density, up to 4 ports per device. That's more serial devices, less IP addresses. So if you've got legacy equipment doing mission critical work, don't rip it out, don't shame it, just give it a translator. Click the link on our website to find out more on the NPort Gen 2 range.